can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Danny. This is a final prediction video for the WBC World Flyweight title fight happening this week between Kenshiro Teraji, the champion, and Ricardo Sandoval, the challenger. Danny, good to be joined by you as always. Love a bit of midweek action in Japan, don't we? That's exactly what we're getting in this fight. We used to it with Inoue, Nakatani, but yeah, we're getting it with the guy who's seen as the best flyweight in the world right now in Kenshiro Teraji. So definitely worth watching. I'll hand things over to you now. What is your final prediction for this one, please?
I might actually surprise you here. I'm going to go with Ricardo Sandoval to win the fight by a stoppage. I think you look at Teraji, he's 34 years of age now, been in a lot of tough fights, and arguably the toughest of those, or certainly one of them, was last time out against the QA. Obviously, he won the fight, got the stoppage in the last round, but shipped a lot of punishment. And I think when you factor in Ricardo Sandoval was once being billed as the future of the sort of lower weights, the flyweight division, had that one loss to David Jimenez. That was 3 years ago. He was only 23 then, had never been beyond 8 rounds before that fight. He's 26 now, a lot more accustomed to the rounds, heavy-handed, fit, and I think it might be a case of him getting Teraji at the right time. As I say, Teraji, long career, long fights, grueling fights, and I think time might be right for Sandoval.
Yeah, brilliant. Look, it would be a decent sized upset.
Yeah,
Sandoval 7-2 underdog at the platform that I'm looking at. Obviously, this place, yeah, it's taking place in Japan where Taraji's had all of his fights. Are you quite confident Sandoval wins this fight by stoppage, Danny? Are you quite keen on that, or could it be a points victory?
it could be points. I think stoppage is more likely. I think Taraji's probably a bit technically more polished, although Teraji defensively, his defense is non-existent at times. He's got good feet, which get him out of trouble. But in terms of his head movement, he doesn't move his head, rarely has his hands up. And I think as well, with Sandoval, just that freshness, I think could prove to be too much. And you look at Taraji's last three fights. Q was a good win at flyweight, had been beat at a lower level before. Rosales well past his best. And then his last fight at light flyweight, Canizales, was a majority decision. He was, no great shakes either. So I think there has been a bit of a steady decline since the Kayaguchi wins for Taraji.
Yeah, interesting. Looking forward to watching. I think we've kind of, as I said at the start of the video, we've kind of gotten used to quality midweek boxing in Japan. So looking forward to this one. The flyweight division, Danny, if we're being honest, it's not one that kind of even people who watch boxing week in, week out have a great depth of knowledge about. I think especially in the UK, we've obviously had Sonny Edwards Galawi fight in recent years. Jay Harris, another one who Sandoval's beaten.
Yep.
But it's not like the middleweight division or the heavyweight division where there's lots of British fighters out there that we can discuss. But do you see kind of Taraji and Sandoval as maybe the two best in the division? Obviously, there's other world champions. There's Ibuki, who's also Japanese as well. Probably won't go over the Francisco Rodriguez situation. Obviously, that kind of situation. He had a very impressive performance for certain reasons last time against Galawi fight. But are these guys the two best in the division? Or do you think there are other guys out there that would beat Taraji right now?
It's difficult because you're right. It feels like the flyweight division is in a bit of a lull. Taraji's the consensus number one. You've got Anthony Alascuaga, pretty fortunate in his last fight, I thought, to be honest, against Kayaguchi. Ibuki Teraji would be probably the consensus number one, but you can sort of pick holes in his resume as well. So it's sort of on there. I would have these two as being in the top three or four, in my opinion, at the minute. And I think in a few years' time, I think Sandoval could be even higher than that.
Yeah. Going off topic a little bit, Danny. I do like Galawi fight is a fighter of to discuss here. We don't know if his loss to Rodriguez is going to get overturned or not. Perhaps it should do. Do you think he still has a part to play in at the top in this division? Only the one loss in his record, which arguably shouldn't be a loss, but he's kind of a bit younger than Taraji himself, I believe. Do you think he can still kind of play a part and fight for a world title in the next few months?
He could definitely fight for a world title, particularly if the Rodriguez fight is ruled a no contest. He would be, you would imagine, given his WBC interim title back, which puts him right back in the fray for a fight against the winner of this fight. I think Teraji is probably a better style for him than Sandoval because Teraji goes a bit more on the back foot, not as physically strong. Yafai would probably be the bigger fighter against Teraji, who obviously spent a long time at light flyweight. I think Sandoval will be a really tough fight for him. Body puncher, fights in the inside. Probably technically better than Francisco Rodriguez was as well. But there's so many question marks over what that Rodriguez fight took out of Yafai that it's hard to say with great confidence he'll go on to be a world champion. But if Eddie Hearn's willing to back him and help get him the fights that can put him back in a position to fight for a world title, then yeah, he can. But as I say, there's still so many unknowns regarding what's left. You can't be overly confident he'd win one.
Yeah, there's still lots of things to be determined. And I just think that it's a bit, I mean, it's a kind of similar to maybe the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney situation, where although the win got overturned for Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney still took a bit of a beating in there that night, and we're not sure he's over a year later. I don't think he's done much to prove that he's kind of over that fight because of how brutal it was. But we'll see what happens. Final question from me, Danny. I think when it comes to these lighter weights, it feels like there's three kind of big characters, and Inoue, Nakatani, and now Bam Rodriguez is kind of three guys who had the potential to go kind of really mainstream, to be kind of global sports stars and to be in super fights. However, obviously they're all in different weight divisions at the moment, so those fights are never guaranteed to happen. But I wanted to ask, the winner of this fight would possibly be seen as the best flyweight in the world. Would you be interested if the winner of this fight came out and said, I want Bam Rodriguez next? Bam Rodriguez, we know, is trying to become undisputed. Do you think that would be a good fight for Rodriguez to stick at super flyweight and fight the winner of this fight in perhaps the spring of next year? Or do you think Rodriguez is, just going to be too focused on moving up to bantamweight and fighting for more world titles?
Yeah, judging from comments from Bam and obviously his promoter, Eddie Hearn, I think they're focused on moving up in sort of decent fashion. I think the cut to Superfly is starting to get harder and harder. He's a big super flyweight, obviously still very young, so you imagine he'll continue to get bigger. And I suppose if Teraji was to win, he's a bit of a name in Japan. I think Honda, who promotes Teraji's, got a part promotional agreement on BAM as well. So that would be a big fight over in Japan. Don't think the Sandoval fight would be particularly big. Certainly not big enough to warrant BAM sticking around and making that weight again if it's getting hard. Or you could fight Ricardo Sandoval. I think, nah, let's move up, I think, mate.
Yeah.
And I think they're more focused on moving up and moving down. But they'll be good fights. There'll be fights, both of them I'd make Bam Rodriguez a massive favourite in, of course, but they'll be entertaining, watchable fights.
Yeah, no, we'll see. Excited. I feel like we're in exciting periods for these lighter weight divisions. We just need to see these big fights happen, but we will see. Danny, good to be joined by you as always. If you enjoy this video, please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Let us know your predictions. Do you agree with Danny? Can you see the upset taking place? Or are you going with the champion to retain his title in Kenshiro Teraji? Danny, good to be joined by you as always. I'll speak to you again very soon.
Thanks, mate.